Hello and welcome to the Quibber channel. I'm Jason, your host. This morning has been exhausting. Bertie passed away last night. The vet came and put him to sleep. He had a lovely last day. Because they were going to come at about 8 p.m, between 8 and 9 p.m, after they do their day stuff and everything that they've got to do at the vets, of course. And then at the end of the day, they come. If you've got a pet in the Staffordshire area or Stoke-on-Trent area, you can do a lot worse than Bramble and Bear. They've looked after my dogs for so long now, and they've been wonderful. Oh, it's just... So we knew they were coming when they were coming. So I spent time downstairs with Bertie all day. Instead of doing my normal streams and everything, I warned everyone on Discord that I wouldn't be available much. And I ordered a £25 breakfast platter from somewhere called Hole in the Wall. It's a Stoke-on-Trent place that does oatcakes and stuff and bits and pieces. And this breakfast platter is 6 Blakeman sausages, 6 pieces of bacon, 6 hash browns, fried mushrooms, fried eggs, and baked beans and tomatoes. And till about 1 p.m, I spent time just sitting down there with him on the sofa, with him on one side and Zach on the other, and feeding him pieces of bacon and sausage and hash browns. After about 1 o'clock, he pretty much went into a food coma. And then I spent most of the rest of the day with him. And they came at about 8:30. They rang me 10 minutes before they were going to come, because they know about me and how I need to be informed about things. And it's always in the back of my head is, am I jumping the gun? Is this too early? Should I give him a few more days? But they knew when they've been looking after Bertie. I mean, thankfully my dogs have been very well. They always have been. I've only ever really need the vets to come if there's been an injury or an issue. And the first thing they said when they came in the room was, Bertie didn't get off the sofa to give them a love. Now, anybody who knows Bertie knows how much he loves the attention of people. And him and Zach usually have like oh, you're getting a love from this person, I've got to go over there as well. He didn't get up off the sofa. And they just knew. They said, yeah, I told him all the things that had happened, how he was had losing control of his bladder, how he was walking around in circles in the backyard, barking at things that weren't there. And how his back end was starting to wobble, and he wasn't stable at the back end. So you have to sign a consent form, and then they go through the business side of signing the consent form, explaining what you want to happen, that what you want done with his ashes, you can have them returned to you, but this time they've got like a pet cemetery, where a beautiful place where the ashes are spread after being cremated. So then they gave Bertie lots of love. So I was sitting behind Bertie, stroking him, and then telling him what a good boy he was. And both of the vets, because they always come two people, and they gave him a injection in his backside, sort of like a pre-med, sort of like a relaxation thing that will just make sure he doesn't have any kind of thing. He was loving it, just he didn't mind at all. Dogs sense when it's the right time, just like Beryl. And so they shave while one of the vets was giving the dog. They're so good, they know just how to be with dogs, to care for them and hold them. I've been to vets where it's completely clinical, where they don't care, where it's just a business. You're just another number. And I will never go back to those vets. Any vet that treats an animal like this, that I won't come close to being anywhere near them. And so they shaved his left paw. All the time the other vet and both of them were speaking softly to him and giving him more love. And I'm sitting behind him on the sofa. A completely calm and lovely atmosphere. And the vet that wasn't doing the shaving of the legs sort of cups Bertie's head and turns her head towards him, so focused on her instead of being shaved, because some dogs don't like being shaved. But they're very experienced with that. And then they got out the cannulas, because what they put a cannula in and then use the cannula to give the injections. And there's two parts to the injection. 2 different syringes full, about that big. They are 2 big syringes full. And they could not find a vein in that first leg. They tried everything. And so they shaved the other leg. Bertie wouldn't mind. Bertie was just enjoying the love. On the next, they must have used about 4 or 5, quite a lot more cannulas. I didn't keep count, because on older dogs the veins can be hard to find, but they didn't cause him any pain. They were brilliant with it, and it was like they used a longer one because they said can be like a valve in the thingy that stops the blood going through too quickly. So they had to push the little plastic thingy up into it. And then they finally got in there. And then they gave him the first injection and the second injection. And he just fell asleep. Then they checked his heart to make sure he was passed. And they said, do you want Zach to come down and say goodbye? He says, because why did you do that with my dog? Because they're both pet owners. They both know what it's like. They both care. And then, so Zach came down, and Zach was a bundle of energy and sniffed Bertie a few times, and he knew. Zach had known for a few days at least, because Zach had been following Bertie outside and keeping an eye on him. You'll probably notice Zach's a bit more subdued today. Of course he is. He's lost his best friend. But I think he's going to be okay. I'm just keeping an eye on him. And then they went home, and I went on Discord for a bit to spend some time with my friends. The silence is the first thing you know. Just subconsciously, your brain recognizes all the sounds that a dog makes in your life. The way they breathe, the way they grunt, the way they move around. Even if you got two dogs, if one of them goes, I can hear, you hear a silence. There's part of the soundscape for the house that's missing. And this is also harder for a autistic person and that, because things have changed. It's a change. And that's why I say this morning was exhausting. You see, Bertie's 17. He was very old, and so I had routines and coping strategies that worked around him. Like, for example, when I'd get up during the night to use the bathroom, I'd let Bertie know that I'm just going to the bathroom. He knew if I said, I'm just going to the bathroom, he didn't have to get off the bed. He didn't have to make the effort to follow me. Bertie liked to follow me everywhere, so if I didn't tell him that I was just going to the bathroom, he'd get off the bed to follow me to the bathroom. And that, which meant, with him getting older, getting him back on the bed again, and that was a chance that it could hurt his back. So, this morning when I woke up, my normal routine would be, well, as soon as I woke up, I give both dogs a love. They've both been on the bed. Both of them get a cuddle. Then Zach goes downstairs. Goes downstairs first, opens the bottom door, and goes and sits on the sofa. Because Zach knows that the heating's being on, and with the door shut at the bottom of the thingy, the warmest place in the house is the living room. And so as soon as he knows, once Zach has had his love, Zach goes downstairs, waits in the living room for me to come down. Bertie won't leave my side. And I have to time everything then. It's part of my motivation to try and get things done in the morning was built around Bertie, because those times when my brain wanted to slow down, or I didn't want to go to the bathroom, or I couldn't focus on having a wash and things like that, I could use routines and coping strategies and use the fact that I've got to make sure that I don't take too long, because Bertie will need to empty his bladder, and that is an old dog. And so I had built all these little routines around that, and letting Bertie know, because Bertie was very intelligent, letting him, if you've ever seen that video that I put up about showing him getting his head under the covers and that, he was a very intelligent dog. And so all that changed this morning. My routine was completely shot, and I had to take mental will effort to force myself to do a route, because I've got to create a new coping strategy and new reasons and new thingies to be able to go to the bathroom and to be able to wash myself, to do all these things. It isn't something that happens automatically. I've got to go create new coping strategies based around that and anchor them with something. I've got to go down for the doggy. I'll have to anchor it. So it'll take weeks to reorganize my coping strategies for waking up in the morning. Because literally everything I did up here was based around keeping an eye on Bertie and making sure he was okay, and making sure. And then there was we've got to go downstairs because Bertie needs to use the bathroom. And so it was very different to walk down the stairs. Because normally it would be Bertie behind me, just behind me. Bertie wouldn't go down the stairs without me in front of him and would follow me down usually. Of course, then he'd run in front of me, and if the door was shut, he'd bash it open so he could go in the living room. And so then even once I was downstairs, all my coping strategies shot to hell. Because normally I do things, the reason I get everything done in such a way is because it's based around Bertie. Zach's fine, Zach doesn't mind. Zach isn't a food-centric dog. Zach will eat, but it isn't a priority for Zach. Zach is more about attention and love and being under the covers. He loves those kind of things. Bertie will basically eat till he keels over. Zach will just have his food and that's it. And Zach likes to go into the bathroom after he's eaten. Bertie likes to go out straight away when he comes downstairs. And so I base having my Huel. I fill my Huel up with water and shake it and put it on the side. And then I go outside and do certain things, like I take my lightsaber outside and do that kind of exercises with my hands. And I get up the dog's dirt that they've left. And all these are routines that are set for me so I can do them while listening to my Audible book, and that everything has a time and a place. And I've had to change, and now I'm going to have to reorganize everything. So it's going to be exhausting to deal with that. The house feels a little bit more empty. You're a good little doggy, aren't you? Yeah. You're a doofus. Yeah, but Zach is more subdued at the moment, of course. Yeah, good doggy, aren't you? Yeah. Oh, yes. You have a stretchy. Like a lovey. Yeah, Zach isn't as squeaky today. You can tell he's not as verbal as normal. Normally, he'd be squeaking every time I stop giving him a love. That's how I can tell that he's a little bit depressed and that he's missing Bertie. But he should be okay. So, I just wanted to... This is the last picture I took of him as he was just lying on the sofa playing with me during the day. And this is his last video when he had his bacon. You're such a beautiful little doggy, aren't you, eh? Little Bertie. Yeah. Did you enjoy your bacon? Bertie. Bertie. Yeah. Oh, I took my headset off. Zach has learned that when I take my headset off, it usually means I've stopped gaming. And it's time for love, isn't it? It's time for love, isn't it? Come here. Come here. Yeah. He's already... He knows when I say goodbye as well. If he's lying on the bed in the other room, Zach, if I say goodbye on a call in Discord, he comes straight in. He knows. He knows it's time for love, don't you? You're such a good boy. Oh. Take care of yourself, everyone. Yeah. Yeah. It's time for your love now, isn't it? Show me attention, Daddy. Show me attention, Daddy. Bye-bye for now.